everyone, and welcome to my January TBR video. For those of you who've been following me for a while, you're probably wondering why the hell am I doing a TBR video? I used to never do them and it was working for me fine while I was doing my weekly wrap-ups, because I would read a lot during the week and then post my wrap-up and it was fine. But then later on, as I was, introducing more videos on stationery planning as well as my writing videos, I realized that my bookish reviews were coming out not every single week, but more like every 2 weeks, then every 3 weeks, then once a month. And it just makes sense to make monthly wrap-ups. And if I have a monthly wrap-up, I might as well make a monthly TBR. Let's just say that I want to give it a go. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but new year, new resolutions, and why not try out something different? And the first book that I have on my list is Space Mac, which I requested from NetGalley. This is the book, or rather novella, by Emma Jane. I believe it's a debut novel or a debut story, and it's kind of like a space odyssey slash sci-fi, and also has a bit of gay romance in it. I did request it from NetGalley. However, there was a kind of like a weird glitch with NetGalley, and the ebook copy of this book was not sent to my Kindle, so I had to go on Kindle store and actually purchase it because I really wanted to read it. And I'm about 60% into the story. Not going to spoil it or anything, but I want to finish it because I requested it and it was due in December. Just I couldn't finish it in December. A lot of books that I have on my TBR are actually the ones that I couldn't finish in December. But yeah, I'm very close to finishing it, and I'll let you know my thoughts at the end of the month. Next on the list is an audiobook which I picked up after watching The Last Jedi, and that is Star Wars Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. And this is book number 1 in his trilogy, and the whole trilogy takes place between episodes 6 and 7. So it is kind of like looking at the aftermath after the Death Star was destroyed and kind of like what happened after that. The characters in the book are not the characters in the movies, so we don't really have Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia, but they are mentioned, so we have a completely different cast of characters. And I decided to pick it up as an audiobook because I really wanted to listen to something, and I got it from Overdrive. Really enjoying it. I'm actually 70% into the audiobook, so hopefully I will finish it very soon. But yeah, I cannot wait to get to the ending because so far it's just been very epic. Next, I want to finish Royal Bastards by Andrew Schwartz. This is the book that I got from the library, and unfortunately I had to return it, but hopefully I'll get it back from the library again. I read about 100 pages of that book and got stuck, not because I was not enjoying it, but there was just November and December were not very good reading months and not very good months overall, so I kind of got behind on this book, but I really want to finish it. This is book number 1 in a duology or maybe trilogy, and this is a story about royal bastards, basically illegitimate kids of royalty, and how they get all together in the face of big treason. So I was really enjoying the book. Probably was not my favorite, but still cannot wait to finish it because I want to know what happens next. Next, I would like to finish a book that I should have finished by the beginning of December, and that is Island of Exiles by Erica Cameron. That was a book that was provided to me by Entangled Teen in exchange of a free and honest review, and I was absolutely intending to finish it, and also I was supposed to read book number 2 in the trilogy, and it just did not happen, and I'm very sad because I was 20% into the book and I was really enjoying it. It is on Kindle, so I really need to get to it. It's a pretty good book. It's a YA fantasy which has also very diverse cast of characters, and the world itself is very interesting. It has a huge desert, and there was a lot of survival elements to the story, which I really enjoyed, and also the magic system is interesting. I'm still trying to figure out what happened there, and I like what is happening there and how everything is happening and how everything works in this world. So hopefully I'll get to this book this month, because I really want to finish it and I feel really bad for not finishing it by the deadline. Next, I would like to read Sherlock Holmes stories as read by Stephen Fry. So last year, Audible released the complete collection of Sherlock Holmes stories by Arthur Conan Doyle as read by Stephen Fry. It is a huge audiobook, I believe in 9 parts, and it's God knows how many hours long. And I got it. I was super excited because Stephen Fry is my absolute #1 favorite narrator. His rendition of Harry Potter books was something that got me back into audiobooks back in the day, years ago, and I'm really enjoying his voice. So I set myself a goal to read at least one story or one novel as read by Stephen Fry, and obviously I chose A Study in Scarlet, which is book #1, and also the first meeting of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. So I'm obviously very much enjoying the story, and I've read it so many times, and I also listened to it in audio several times. But I picked Stephen Fry, and actually I have already listened to that book, but I'm not going to stop. I will be listening more stories by Stephen Fry. This is all part of Sherlock Holmes Reading Month, which is done by Winks and Ink at her channel, and there is a hashtag SHReads18, which is also on Twitter and Instagram. Winks created Instagram challenges as well as, I believe, a booktube tag. However, I'm horrible with challenges. I posted like one picture under this tag, but I really wanted to participate in this reading month because last year I had a full intention in participating, but I did not. And this year I decided to go with an audio because listening to Sherlock Holmes stories in audio is one of my favorite things. And like I said, I listen to different narrators, but Stephen Fry is my favorite, so it's just match and habit. Next, I have a book which is kind of like a wild card because that book is supposed to be sent to me for a specific book club, but I still have not received a copy of that book, and I'm not even sure when I will receive it, and the review is kind of due in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, but yeah, I'll just keep it like as a blank space, so like a wild card, but hopefully I'll get a copy, and hopefully I will be able to read this book and review it for you guys. And the last but definitely not least is the only physical copy that I have on my TBR right now to show you, which is not, you know, coming from a library or is lost somewhere in mail, and that is a copy of The Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. So I finally decided to bite the bullet and, you know, read these books because I've had them on my shelf for about a year, maybe even more, and I heard mixed things about it. There are some people who absolutely love the series, there are some people who like kind of indifferent about it. I do follow Emma's books, and if you know Emma, she's a huge fan of the Mortal Instruments series. She is a huge fan of Cassandra Clare, and recently she announced that she's going to be doing a year-long readathon, or rather read-along of all the Mortal Instruments series, and I decided like this is the perfect opportunity for me to join on the bandwagon and read the series. So I watched her video in which she describes the different types of orders in which you can read the books, and I decided to start with the Infernal Devices, just because these books are set, I believe, in the 18th century as opposed to the rest of the books which are in the present world. So I decided to start with this one. I also heard from my friend that these are the books and this is the trilogy which people usually like more as opposed to the first book, which I believe is City of Bones. So yeah, I decided to give it a try, and I'm going to leave it probably till the end of my month, just to see how well I do with everything else. And I do plan to finish some of the books that are overdue for reviews, and also read that wild card book, which is also due like by 21st, I don't remember, 3rd week of January. So I'm going to leave this one for the last. Hopefully it will not disappoint. I'm pretty sure that everyone and their mother and grandmother probably read those books except for me, but what can I do? I'm pretty late to YA genre, so finally will be reading this one, and hopefully it will not disappoint. Please do not spoil me for anything, because I know basically nothing about the books. I did see some pictures from the TV show, but I have not watched the TV show, I have not watched the movie. I am trying to stay away from all the spoilers as much as I can. I did join the Facebook page that Emma created for her read-along. However, I will probably not read a single post until I at least read one book. So that's, yeah. So these are all the books that I plan to read in January. As you can tell, since I'm quite far into certain books, I might pick more books to read, which I'm definitely looking forward to. I have very set goals for this year to tackle my huge TBR and to read more books that I already own. But I will be talking about my kind of 2017 review and my 2018 goals in more detail later on. But that's for now. Please let me know down below if you've read any of the books that I mentioned. Especially I would like to know if you started listening to Stephen Fry reading the Sherlock Holmes stories, because God, that man does an amazing job. And also if anyone read or listened to Star Wars Aftermath by Chuck Vendick, please let me know down below. Just a quick reminder that my book reviews, book hauls, TBRs, and also stationery and planner related videos come out every Wednesday, and my writing progress videos and my writing journey and also some theater reviews come out every Sunday. I just want to kind of reinforce this fact because I feel as if not everyone is aware about like my schedule. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in a week. Bye! It's called Space Mac and it's by, and I forgot the name. I'm very tempted to say Chuck Vendick, just because like this ending with IG doesn't make sense to me in English but makes sense to me in German. This is so weird. Like, it's 9 p.m, I'm wearing mascara and full makeup, and I'm sitting in my pajamas and talking to a camera. I mean, all booktubers will probably understand me right now, but real people? And I have my Furlock bear. This is an official Sherlock Con bear, and I love him to bits. How come this video is so short? I have like 8 minutes more.